Okay guys, so I'm gonna do this for you on, well anyways, you guys had asked that you wanted the video. I'm not good at this. I'm not like talking to people on the computer, but I will try to make the video for you. First things first, I want to let you guys know I don't use Photoshop. That may be strange to some of you, but I don't see forking out $10 when I have this program that I've been using for like 6 years now and I know how to use really well. It works just the same as Photoshop. It's incredible. It's free. So if you really want to know about it, it's called GIMP and you can message me and I'll let you know. But other than that, it works the same. The little icons over here on the side are probably going to look a little different to you. But they do the same things. I mean, it's like cloning paintbrushes, fonts. You can all the different little things to change the picture the way you want it to be, smoothing it, blurring it, etc. Everything's the same. So from here, I'm going to try and do this quickly as possible. It'll probably be a rough edit. I already sent her the one that I'm done with, but sorry, let me see if I can turn these notifications off. There's a good chance I can't, so sorry. Anyways, I'll just close it. What I'm going to start out with is zooming in, obviously. So I'm going to fill the screen there, and then I'm just going to zoom in. So what we're doing today is getting rid of this guy in the background because it's obviously a fabulous picture, and we don't want this guy here. He's not helping anybody. So first I'm going to get my brush to be a larger size. I'm going to go quite a bit bigger just so it's quicker. Then we're going to grab the clone tool. It's really easy, guys. You're going to be surprised at how easy it is. I'm going to center it here. So with that, just center it right there to grab what I want to clone from, and then center it to where I want to clone to. And as you can see, quickly he starts to disappear. I'm only going to go up to this line because I'm not sure it's going to line up right where I want it yet. And then, just kind of keep going like that. And the same thing can go here. Well, some of it. And then you can let go and see you've already filled in a lot. And then we'll go ahead and set her down here just until we get all the way up to his neck here. As you can see, I'm using a brush that is not the really, really tight brush. So it has like a kind of fine line there. Right here you can see. So it'll keep it so it gets close, but not like into his shirt. So that's kind of the goal. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to grab some color here and just kind of blur this line here because it kind of shows a lot. Alright, then I'm going to also take that and clone here. Again, right close to his neck till you cannot see any of that blue color. Okay, now I'm going to take this line here and center it over his head and just kind of pull it down and up. Maybe not. I'm going to undo that one because it was a little too dark. We'll take it from here because it's not as dark as up there. Alright, perfect. So his head kind of disappears, as you can see. Here's where it's going to get a little trickier because I'm going to go back there and blur that line out a little bit. Kind of try to keep your line straight. It's a little hard because of the design. So we can't do the line right across here perfectly because of this. The only part that I wasn't really sure about when I was editing is you can tell that obviously it should be a pole coming down. I'm going to just make people assume that it is something reflecting off the ground. So I'm just going to go from up here and pull it down here. You can see that was not straight at all, so we're going to undo that one. So it's easier if you center like right on the line that you want to get it on, and then just start from there. I keep messing it up. So it's not perfection. It's something you have to practice a lot to get it like just right, but you can get pretty close like this. Okay, then we'll pull again from here across. His head was there. And then this can come back down slightly just to kind of blur it through, if that makes sense. So far we've got that, and then I'm going to pull from this color here to kind of fill in right here behind his head. Again, going up pretty close to his head, just kind of want to get the most of that color off as you can without taking his head off, which we don't want to do. And then from here, you can make this line more crisp all the way across, so you just start with the line there that was crisp, and pull it down across, so it's kind of a straighter line. Like I said, this is a rough edit. It's kind of just to give you guys an idea of how to do it. Here you go. So I'm also going to take the blur here because you can tell it's more blurred there. I don't want anything too sharp, kind of with this too, so that it looks straighter Alright, so for the most part you get the idea of how I did the top part there. It's not exactly perfect, obviously. If it were something that I was actually editing, like the one I sent to her, it would be a lot smoother, and I would make sure that line was perfectly straight. Okay, again, with the tree is actually probably the easiest part. We're going to just take a bigger brush like this again, and just cover up the guy. And you just kind of pull him across. Be careful that if you go too far to the right, you're going to start getting where he was, and it's going to clone him back onto it. It's a pain. Done it before. So bring it down as much as possible over the guy. Make sure you don't go too far over to hit the pole there. You can kind of pull other sections of the tree in. But there you go. The guy is gone. I'm also going to show you a quick trick as far as to make that background, because now you can see it's kind of a little sketchy. So pull it back out a little bit. As you can see, you can kind of tell it's there, maybe just because we knew it's there, but you can kind of tell it's there. So what I'm going to do up here, I right-clicked and I'm going to select Duplicate Layer. So here we have a second layer. And then I'm also going to go down and select Add Layer Mask to that second layer. I do white, just easier for me. So on this duplicate layer, make sure you select it, not the white layer. So you select that there. You're going to come up and go to Filters, Blur, and then we're going to do the Gaussian blur. And I'm going to move it clear up to 18. I found that that's where it worked the best to make it the smooth, like you have a really high or low aperture number on your camera, so you're kind of getting that fake aperture, which is cool. So we're going to add that in. So as you'll see here in a second, it's going to get really blurry. No worries, it's just the top layer. So if you were to hide that top layer so you couldn't see it, you can still see that the bottom image there is just fine. Let's see. Yeah, I think that's fine. You could go more if you feel like that's more comfortable for you, but this is fine for the idea of showing you. So now I'm going to select this white layer. Oops, right here. See, the white layer is selected. So with that, it is a transparent layer. So what you're going to do to get rid of the blur on certain things is you hit the black paintbrush here, and then you can go in, and I just try to get the vast majority of the center first, kind of close to the edges, but not too bad. You keep going, just like this, all the way around them, and then you want to fill in the middle, obviously. So this is giving the background more of a blur, but keeping them super sharp and in focus, because it's a beautiful picture, and you want to be able to see their beautiful faces. So you say, hey, I got all the blur off, it's kind of hard to tell. Here in this tiny picture, you'll be able to tell there's white spots, or you can hide the original. Makes it easy, so then you just fill in this. You can tell I need to go way closer to his neck here, his back, parts of his backpack here that are going to be a little weird. Makes it a little less work when you get to the next step, which I'm just going to start kind of showing you guys. I'm not probably going to get too detailed about because it's kind of a longer process, but here we go. We got all of the main part of their bodies is going to be cleared, and I'll show you in just a moment what that will look like compared to what it was the last step. So there you go, as we can see, we got most of it. It's a little rough around the edges, but that's what we'll be going in and doing the next step. So here you can see up here, it is now all black in those spots, and you can pull back up this picture and you can see that they are sharp and the background is not. So this is pretty easy. Once you've figured it out, you'll probably never forget it. But what we're going to do is go ahead and zoom in just to make sure you know how to do the little bits of detail. So here, as you can see, along the edges, let's get my brush much smaller, and then we're going to get a solid brush and do it much smaller. Oh, not that small. Okay, so when you get to the edges here, where you're like, oh, but this isn't focused now, how do I fix it? You're going to flip it to white, which will add that mask back on, which adds the blur back. So you just can go back along the edges there. If anywhere is too sharp, you can fix that. Kind of maybe a little bit here. Kind of went the opposite direction with this. I didn't get quite far enough in. And then in that case, you can take that sharp edge brush here with the black in. You can see down here, oh, it wasn't very sharp right there. And you can kind of go along the edge to get that crisp line, which we all love. And then you just kind of keep going along the edge and getting exactly what you want focused on there. I could probably do this for like 20 more minutes, so I'm just going to kind of show you the idea of it. So you can see here the back of his backpack is out of focus. Yep, just keep going along the edges. It's mostly where you're going to miss it anyways. It's just the very edges. You can see the handle here is kind of hard to make sure you got all the blur off of. Go across to there. And yes. The back of his neck was pretty bad. Some of those parts are a little just harder to get into, but you want that line to be crisp. I think I kind of photoshopped over that on accident. Normally, like I said, when I do it, it's for an actual professional reason, like when I did it to give back to the photographer, I obviously took a lot more time. But it's alright, you can see how the edges are back sharp, which was what we wanted from this picture. But yeah, I'm not going to go into it on this side because her hair is going to take a long time to do. But you get the gist of that. So here's the picture with it fixed that way. You can, like I said, go back and forth in there, and between the white and the black will add the textured part back, the white will add the blur. So you just kind of go along the edges and detail that back in, and it will do the same thing. So then it adds an aperture to it. So I hope that you guys found this tutorial helpful. If you guys have any other ones that you want, specifically if you're interested in GIMP tutorials, because that is what I do, and that is what I prefer, then just let me know, and I would love to do more for you guys.